Javi, you and I have talked a lot about how the engine of your golf swing or your body works. We've talked about how, when you set up, that when you coil to the top, you want to feel like you're loaded in your right glute here. Your right glute's back against the wall, and that you've wound your body so you feel a little more pressure in your right side. From there, we talked about in phase 2 how you're going to shift pressure towards the front of that left foot while keeping your tailbone back. And then lastly, we've talked about how you go forward, upward, and open with your hips and your rib cage. Okay? That's your body motion. Remember, what enables your body motion to work correctly is how you're stood to the golf ball. You've got to have your posture correct in order for your body to work that way. Okay, so with your posture, we've talked a lot about getting a flat back, making sure that your pelvic angle is neutral so that you have a flat back and that you're balanced on the middle of your feet. If either one of those things, your back or the balance of your feet, aren't correct, your body's going to have a difficult time coiling, shifting, and opening. All right, so you got to get the posture right. It's got to be perfect. In the video I just saw, your back looked flat. You looked very close, but you actually looked slightly towards your heels. You were sitting very flat back, so good pelvic angle, but you looked a little back in your heels, just a fraction. So that needs to be worked on every day. As far as the golf club, the plane of the golf club, you and I haven't talked a lot about it. But just like with the body pivot, for that to work correctly, the plane and the club face, in order for those to work correctly, you must grip it and have the correct arm position. How my forearms are what formation they have. Okay, so when the grip and arm formation's correct, the club has an opportunity to be on plane. Let's talk about your grip. Okay, I can't see your left-hand grip from the video I shot. It looks pretty good, but I'm going to come up close here. Your right hand, there's gaps here between your thumb and your forefinger. You're not holding the grip with the thumb and forefinger. It's very loose and gaps. And then what I really noticed was how your right forearm was pre-rotated, where this part of your arm is facing up to the sky. What I want to see is you actually hold the grip in your right hand, okay, with no gaps. Feel like there's no space in your grip. You're holding the grip. And then just soften your right arm a little bit so there's an equal amount of this part of your arm and an equal amount of that part of your arm. What you're going to notice, that's going to create a little angle in the back of your wrist. When you have that angle in the back of your right wrist, it's going to be real easy to swing the club in balance and keep it on plane. Okay, so grip, arm position, and posture are everything. Without those, the swing's always going to be bouncing back and forth. You've got to service those every day. So the lesson, I'm going to show you a drill, some plane awareness. Get your grip on there. Try to close the gaps on your right hand and just soften your right arm. Okay, it's almost like if you're playing volleyball. You're never going to hit a volleyball with your right arm in this position. You're just having an equal amount on each arm. So get that grip on there. Check that you feel like you have a little angle in the back of your right wrist. Now, place a long pole or your alignment rod down on the ground on the target line and put a T in the end of your grip. If you do this every day, you're always going to have great plane. Your club's going to be on plane, your face is going to be square. So place the club head right on top of the target line on this pole on the ground and have the T point at your belly button. What I want you to do when you move it away, just opposite your right leg, the T is going to still point at your belly button, and if there were a T coming out of or a laser coming out of the club head, that's still going to point at the pole on the ground. Once my hands pass my right leg, your right arm and wrists need to lever. They need to hinge the club up in the air. So when your left arm's parallel to ground, the tee is going to point at that target line, the shaft on the ground. Okay, watch how I do this. Point the tee at my belly button, club head at the ball target line, hinge my wrists, fold my right arm, and the tee points at the target line. Okay, from there you're going to complete it with your body, and then as you shift, left arm parallel to ground, the tee is still pointing inside the ball target line. Okay, so just doing a little drill. Throw the club down on the ground. Okay, move it away. It feels like a big putt. Tee at belly button. Club head stays pointing at ball target line. Hinge your wrist, fold that arm so the tee points at the golf ball. That's what I want to see. You getting into a position halfway back where it's better. Your club right now, okay, when you're here, it looks okay, but then here, the right arm's not folding, the wrists aren't setting, and the shaft's starting to get behind you. Whenever it gets behind you, it's going to need to come over, and that's why you're inconsistent. It's not shallowing how we like. Another thing you can really simply do, just hold the club in your right hand. Again, a softer right arm, close the gaps, feel like you have a little angle there, and just make some right hand swings, some halfway back. Point the tee right at the target line or at the golf ball. Just get that feeling. See how I'm letting the club swing in balance? Place my left hand on there and just swing it here, left arm parallel to ground. I don't need to swing up here, just here where the tee points at the ball target line. Okay, have a watch of this, and then we'll chat in a minute.